Tonight, CBC News learns key details about Justin Trudeau's minority cabinet. Who's in, who's out, and what it tells us about how he'll govern.
I was concerned by the call. What I heard was inappropriate.
We're inside the hearing room as the impeachment inquiry gets its first-hand account of the phone call that started it all.
This is a crisis, a system that's failing us.
A mental health crisis on Canada's campuses. We go in depth on a silent epidemic.
Literally felt like I was standing in boiling oil.
And scarred, maybe for life, after an unregulated hair removal procedure. This is The National. Tonight, we begin to learn how a downsized Liberal government will wield its power and who will be trusted with its greatest challenges. So right now in Ottawa, anticipation. The city will be keenly watching as the Trudeau government is sworn in tomorrow and the new cabinet is revealed, a parliamentary ritual that will definitely differ from the last one. So tomorrow's announcement could certainly lack the swagger of the one 4 years ago. Justin Trudeau has a smaller caucus from which to choose his team, and he no longer has MPs in every province. Government sources have been very tight-lipped, but our reporters have pushed hard to bring you the best information. So here's David Cochrane with what we've learned about who's who on the Liberal bench.
Mr. Blair, how are you?
He's seen as the front-runner to become Canada's next public safety minister. But if that's the case, Bill Blair isn't saying anything.
I'm just going to work, thank you very much.
You're going to work as what?
Well, I'm hoping to be sworn in tomorrow as a member of Parliament.
CBC News has learned many of these faces are staying in cabinet, some in new roles, including Chrystia Freeland, leaving Foreign Affairs for a key domestic role, thought to be a beefed-up intergovernmental affairs job, possibly Deputy Prime Minister, tasked with managing regional divisions revealed in the election. Freeland's replacement in Foreign Affairs is François-Philippe Champagne, a lawyer and international trade specialist with extensive experience abroad. They headline a list of ministers changing roles. Pablo Rodriguez is leaving Heritage to be the government House Leader, a critical role in a minority parliament. Jonathan Wilkinson leaves Fisheries for Environment and Climate Change, a department at the core of this government's agenda. Seamus O'Regan is expected to step in natural resources. With no Liberals in Alberta or Saskatchewan, it goes to an MP from oil-producing Newfoundland and Labrador. Sources say Stephen Guilbeault, a new Quebec MP, will be the new Minister of Heritage. But with cabinet confidence at play and jobs on the line, most Liberals are tight-lipped.
Are you planning on being at Maple Hall tomorrow?
I will see tomorrow.
If the 2015 cabinet was about signaling change, insiders say this one is about signaling competence and getting down to work. The election magnified some deep political fault lines and sent a strong message to the Prime Minister. Liberals hope this cabinet shows Canadians that Justin Trudeau hears that message loud and clear. David Cochrane, CBC News, Ottawa.
And so Vashi Capellos, the host of Power and Politics, is here to shed some more light on this. So Vashi, let's start with Freeland's move away from Foreign Affairs. That is the big story here. What does that tell us?
It really is the big story. Freeland was probably the most visible minister in cabinet, the most significant minister in cabinet over the last 4 years, in charge of really important files like Donald Trump, NAFTA, China, you name it. Her move to a more domestically minded file like Deputy Prime Minister or something that addresses the regional disparities in this country really signifies the direction this government is going in and what kind of priorities they're going to place on domestic issues more so than foreign ones.
Right, and so if we're talking about a cabinet operating in a minority government situation, how does that change how it works?
Yeah, the cabinet might end up looking kind of similar to the last 4 years, but it'll be a lot different, chiefly because ministers aren't just going to be in charge of reaching out to constituents. They're also going to have to really reach out to the opposition. The difference is in this minority parliament, as you will know from the election, things aren't exactly rosy between all the parties and the Liberals. So they will have their work cut out for them in that respect. Opposition parties, though, will probably want to get along for a little while. None of them at this point are really ready to force another election, this soon at least. Adrian?
Wow, making friends. All right, Vashi, thanks very much. Tomorrow, our TV coverage of the Trudeau government swearing in begins at noon Eastern Time. Vashi will be hosting from Rideau Hall. David Cochrane will be there to round out the analysis. Watch it live on CBC News Network or on CBC Gem. A first today at Donald Trump's impeachment inquiry. For the first time, we heard from people who themselves heard that now infamous phone call between Trump and the president of Ukraine.
What I heard was inappropriate.
I found the July 25th phone call unusual.
It's not what we recommended the president discuss.
Of the 4 witnesses who testified today, 3 were in the Situation Room during that call and heard Trump ask for, quote, a favor that would benefit him personally and politically. Jennifer Williams is an advisor to Vice President Mike Pence. Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman serves on the National Security Council, as did Tim Morrison, until he resigned just a couple of weeks ago. Also testifying today, Kurt Volker, a former special envoy to Ukraine. And Paul Hunter is on Capitol Hill tonight. Earlier, Paul, you were in that room as the witnesses testified and were very clearly challenged.
Yeah, you know, Alex Vindman came here today, Adrian, with effectively one job: to put into words, under oath, on camera, his assessment of what he heard from Donald Trump. And so he did.
Frankly, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It was probably an element of shock.
Wearing his military uniform, Alex Vindman couldn't have been more clear in his assessment of what Donald Trump did.
It was inappropriate. It was improper for the president to request and to demand an investigation into a political opponent, especially a foreign power.
That's at the heart of the impeachment inquiry. Did Trump abuse the power of his office for his own political gain by leveraging U.S. aid to pressure Ukraine into investigating Trump rival Joe Biden?
I privately reported my concerns in official channels to the proper authority in the chain of command.
As a White House expert on Ukraine, Vindman was listening in on that now infamous phone call between Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky in July, in which Trump pressed Zelensky while naming Biden.
Was there any ambiguity about the president's use of the word Biden?
There was not.
Republicans countered by seemingly questioning Vindman's loyalty to the U.S. Born in Ukraine, his family later fled the then Soviet Republic for America.
I don't know Vindman at all.
At the White House, Trump labeled the proceedings a kangaroo court. But Vindman was having none of it, challenging the character of witnesses, reprehensible, he said. And when a Republican ignored his uniform...
Mr. Vindman, you testified in your deposition that you did not know the whistleblower.
Ranking member, it's Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, please.
Everything he's done, he said, is out of duty to country, underlining that with a personal message to his own father.
Dad, I'm sitting here today in the U.S. Capitol.
Speaking out against any president, he said, is something they'd never dare do in the former Soviet Union. But this isn't that place.
Do not worry. I will be fine for telling the truth.
And at one point, Adrian, the crowd in that room applauded Alex Vindman.
So, you know, watching it on television is one thing very clearly, but what's it like in there, Paul?
Yeah, you know, you see it on TV and it's pretty powerful stuff, but in person, I got to tell you, it's something else, right? I mean, on one side, you got lawmakers who are deciding whether to impeach the president, and across the way, a top-flight military official who also happens to work for the White House, who's sitting there and effectively is ratting on the president, right? But he himself will point out that he's doing it for the good of the country, right? So but you're sitting there and you're thinking, this is actually happening, history, right? You can feel it in the room, and there's more to come tomorrow.
And we will speak with you tomorrow. Thanks, Paul.
Indeed.
And here's what's coming up tomorrow. 3 more people will testify, including U.S. Ambassador Gordon Sondland, a central figure in all of this. His closed-door testimony has already made waves. He first said he didn't recall taking part in any effort to encourage an investigation into the Bidens. Then, just about 2 weeks later, he said he did. Adding to the drama, Sondland and Trump have a history. Sondland donated $1 million to Trump's inauguration. Picket lines were up before the sun today. Across this country, about 3,200 CN rail workers went on strike after the company and the union failed to reach a deal by last night's deadline.
We deserve to have our voices heard.
CN employees have been without a contract since July. The union says they didn't walk out over wages, but over health and safety concerns, especially fatigue.
There are people out there operating trains in Canada at the moment who, in fact, should be resting. Derailments and other railway accidents throughout history have been attributed to fatigue.
CN says it is disappointed with the strike action,
which will result in a significant disruption to service. We apologize to our customers.
Those customers, including oil and mining companies, are worried they can't pay the bills if they can't get their freight to market. As for farmers, they're having a tough year as it is. Now, as Cameron McIntosh tells us, just hours into the strike, they are losing money already.
We farm approximately 4,000 acres.
On Kevin Stott's farm just outside of Winnipeg, the silence is striking. It's fall and only the dog is moving. After a cold, wet harvest, his crop is in the bin, but without rail to move it, it's already getting harder to sell it.
Yesterday, I could have got 30 cents a bushel more than today. And the only difference is the rail strike.
Grain is a big part of CN's business. Last year, it moved a record 27.5 million metric tons. This fall, CN was moving more than 6,000 cars a week. All of it now stopped. Its only real competitor, CP, can only pick up a fraction of that.
If we can't ship it when our contracts are calling for it, it sits here and I don't get paid.
Further west, the same worries that this year's crop could be stranded. Jason Lenz farms near Bentley, Alberta.
I'm probably more worried about the contracts that I already have in place for delivery in December and January if this strike looms for a long period of time.
In a year where the harvest has been late but yields are around average, there was already risk of a backlog. Now that could happen with other commodities too, like oil.
I think if the strike goes on for more than a week, then we're starting to see an impact that we could feel in terms of the financial results of CN and in terms of the broader economy.
Already there's a sense of urgency.
We've sent the letter to CN that they would get back to the bargaining table and come to a quick resolve on this, and if not, then we'd ask the federal government to intervene.
Pressure on Ottawa will increase with each passing day. Stott recognizes the issues are sensitive.
So you hate getting an essential service and forcing them to run if it truly is a safety issue.
Meanwhile, with CN and CP having a virtual lock on grain transportation, there's a lot riding on an early settlement, both on the picket line and off. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, near Niverville, Manitoba.
Tempers seriously flared inside Alberta's legislature today. And in the end, opposition leader and former premier Rachel Notley got kicked out. She and her party are furious over legislation that would essentially fire the province's election commissioner while he's investigating the governing party's 2017 leadership race. Rafi Boudjikanian takes us through it.
The Premier is using the power of his office to politically prevent investigations into fraud.
NDP leader Rachel Notley went hard at the United Conservative government today, but it was this that got her kicked out of the legislature.
The House leader is misleading the House.
That kind of language is not allowed. Notley was asked to apologize and refused. And so,
Rachel Notley, you are no longer permitted to be in the Assembly for the rest of the day.
At issue, the proposed firing of this man, Alberta Election Commissioner Lorne Gibson. He's investigating the United Conservative Party leadership race in 2017. It's alleged candidates conspired to eliminate one of Jason Kenney's key leadership rivals. Gibson has hit 15 people with more than $200,000 in fines so far. But proposed government legislation would see his position eliminated and his responsibilities handed elsewhere.
The right decisions will be made in terms of continuing with those investigations.
The province says it's not political interference.
Restructuring is about finding efficiencies and ensuring that we have the most defensible process and structure going forward.
The opposition isn't buying it.
This is a much bigger issue than parliamentary language. This is about parliamentary existence. This is about how you get into the legislature and following the rules to get there.
Premier Jason Kenney is out of the country. The NDP is asking the Lieutenant Governor to intervene to stop the legislation, an extraordinary and extremely rare measure. So far, she's not saying anything. Rafi Wujikani on CBC News, Edmonton.
In Hong Kong, where it is already Wednesday, a tense wait as protesters remain holed up inside a university there and police remain outside. As Tina Lovegreen tells us, this latest escalation in the months-long unrest has people in Canada worried and taking action.
After 3 days of being stuck in Hong Kong's Polytechnic University, protesters are tired, injured, and running out of supplies. Desperate to leave, but also to avoid arrest. Some trying to crawl through narrow sewers to get out. Even some medics have given up.
We don't have enough food, enough water, and also enough first aid. So we've completed our duty.
She says some demonstrators need to be treated in hospital, but are too afraid to leave. Global Affairs says it's aware of Canadians affected and is providing assistance. Outside, police wait out the protesters. More than 1,000 have already been arrested. Parents and supporters gathering.
Many of them are trying to stay there. They're really willing to die for that. It's really heartbreaking.
This activist has been in touch with demonstrators inside the university from her home in Toronto.
Many students have already developed hypothermia, and it's a very dangerous situation right now.
In the 6 months of unrest in Hong Kong, the last 10 days have been the most intense as demonstrators call for free elections and other major reforms. And in just days, another big moment. Hong Kongers will head to the ballot boxes for district council elections, the first vote since the pro-democracy protest started. This 24-year-old who's from Hong Kong but lives in Vancouver is so worried about the future there, she's flying in to cast her ballot.
I don't even know if I'm going to get arrested for going out on the street, but I think that it's like the sense of responsibility, like the feeling that I got from seeing the news, that I feel like that trumps all over my fear and a lot of my uncertainty, that I feel like I still need to go.
But there are rumors the election scheduled for Sunday might be delayed, which might just add more fuel to the fire. Tina Lovegreen, CBC News, Vancouver.
Lots more news ahead on The National. Next, an update on a CBC News investigation. Held in Turkey for months on the suspicion that he and his wife were trying to join ISIS, tonight, police in Canada have placed conditions on his freedom. And later, suicide has become a silent epidemic at Canadian universities, but now students are demanding help.
And here in Vancouver, we're tracking a number of stories, including this one. A brawl shared on social media, but going viral, has also helped police track down the culprits. I'll have the details. We're back in 2 minutes.
Welcome back. There are some new developments tonight in a story we broke here last month about a Canadian husband and wife detained in Turkey, suspected of trying to join ISIS. They were released without charges and came back to Canada, but now, as Katie Nicholson reports, police here are taking action against one of them.
It started with a trip to Turkey and ended with a 3-month detention. On a couch-surfing website, Ikarmal said he and his wife wanted to learn Arabic and Turkish and were looking for a place to stay in Sanliurfa. The authorities believed otherwise and arrested the couple near the Syrian border on suspicion of terror-related activity. Mao and his wife returned to Canada in October. No convictions, without charges. But last week, a change. According to a provincial recognizance document that cites a fear of terrorism offense, Mao has agreed to abide by 19 conditions, including wearing a GPS monitoring bracelet, surrendering his passport and remaining in Ontario, following a curfew, restricted internet access, and not associating or communicating with anyone involved in terrorist activity.
That's interesting.
Mubin Sheikh is a former undercover terrorism operative. He says those conditions are typical in a case where there are terror-related concerns, but it can be hard for the authorities to make sure they're all met.
You can get a burner phone and you can go to town and continue that. So the question is going to be, how are you going to police that?
Sheikh says there are many unanswered questions around the couple's detention in Turkey.
Turkish authorities have also said they're going to start to forcibly deport individuals back to their countries. So I think the Turkish government realized that since we're moving towards deportations anyway, let's just get rid of this couple that we have on our hands now.
In a statement, RCMP confirmed the matter is an ongoing investigation and said it wasn't in a position to answer any questions. It added, "We can tell you that the RCMP wants to reassure the citizens of the Greater Toronto Area and all Canadians that our primary focus is the safety and protection of the public at all times. We do so with the assistance and support of our local partners." Mao's lawyer declined comment. As for Ikar Mao himself, he will be back in court in December. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Toronto.
So let's go to our national newsroom in Vancouver, where Ian is watching stories from across Canada tonight.
And Adrian, let's start with another setback for the country's newspaper industry. The Toronto Star announcing it's shutting down its Star Metro commuter newspapers. That means cuts of 70 jobs across Canada. The commuter papers were published in Toronto, Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, and Halifax. The Star says the final editions will be on December 20th. The company says it's going digital only outside of Ontario, as more readers are using their electronic devices to get news on the way to work. Police in British Columbia say an investigation into 2 Metro Vancouver brawls captured on viral videos have led to the deportation of 3 men. They're in connection to this brawl in a Surrey strip mall last August. That's about an hour east of Vancouver. A second video from a nearby parking lot surfaced just last week. The RCMP says it's been looking into 50 individuals connected to the 2 incidents and are currently reviewing the status of 3 others involved in the altercations. And Hockey Night in Canada host Ron MacLean answered some questions today about Don Cherry's controversial dismissal from the show after criticizing, quote, "you people who come here for not wearing poppies."
He knows we projected an idea, an attitude or a behavior on someone, and he knows, I feel like, in what I've listened to, he's trying now to admit to that.
MacLean made the comments before receiving an honorary degree at the University of Alberta. MacLean said he could have handled his own on-air apology better, and that Cherry sent him an email and that Cherry's still upset. The rape investigation involving Julian Assange has been dropped. That's one of the international stories we'll have for you in 20 minutes.
And lots more still ahead on tonight's National, including the story of the second-hand score. Why shopping at thrift stores has become very fashionable. But next, a warning about laser hair removal. A Vancouver woman says the procedure left her legs looking like this. A Vancouver woman is calling for more regulation of the beauty services industry after she paid, get this, $7,000 for laser hair removal that she says had some damaging results. As Andrea Ross shows us, she now has scars all over her lower body, and she says she is taking the company to court.
Literally felt like I was standing in boiling oil.
Danielle Nadeau has had laser hair removal done more than 6 times. But during an appointment last June, something went wrong.
The pain was severe this time.
She says she told the technician, but she just kept working. She went home with nickel-sized marks covering her legs and groin. A dermatologist told her they might never go away.
It's nice to be positive and hope for it, but now that we're at the 5-month mark and I'm not seeing improvement, I'm starting to become a little more skeptical that I'm gonna see a full recovery on them.
Nadeau is an exotic dancer. Her confidence and finances have taken a hit.
Honestly, every shift, someone comments, it's what's wrong with your legs or what's wrong with your skin?
Nadeau is suing Ideal Image, the company that did the procedure. The company says adverse reactions can happen and it's looking into her case. In a statement, its medical director says client health and safety is a top priority. Some professionals say injuries like Nadeau's are rare, but can happen in BC's unregulated beauty industry. No formal training is required in the province for a wide range of services, including nail art, hairstyling, and laser hair removal.
It really is the Wild West out there right now.
One beauty industry professional says it shouldn't only be up to customers to ensure they're in good hands.
If there was mandatory testing and certification for these industries, some of these injuries you would not be seeing, or there would be a reduction in them.
Until then, she says anyone booking a beauty service should do their research.
Don't be afraid to ask. Ask about the type of machine they're using and look that up online. Ask what sort of certifications or training that they have.
Advice Nadeau wishes she had heard. Andrea Ross, CBC News, Vancouver.
We have to take a short break, but next, a growing crisis at Canadian universities, the exploding need for mental health supports for students. We go in depth. We're back in 2 minutes. Welcome back. One of Canada's largest and wealthiest universities has a mental health crisis on its hands. Last week, we brought you the story of a University of Toronto student who sought help for suicidal thoughts and wound up being led through campus in handcuffs. She says she was traumatized and felt like a criminal. And we know she's not the only one to feel let down by the system. So tonight, Ioana Miliotis goes in depth with a group of student activists fighting for change.
At 4, we're heading over to Simcoe. If you're finishing a sign, do it in the next 2 minutes.
This was just days after the most recent suicide, in the same building where that life ended. The outrage is raw, so is the grief.
There's anger here, for sure. So it's really tough to reconcile that all this suffering is so needless and so pointless, and it's so easy to fix. But for some reason, it just doesn't happen.
Okay, go! Tragedy is fueling this movement. 4 student suicides in the last year and a half alone. Cries for help, and now calls for action.
How many lives will it take before you fix your mistakes? How many lives will it take before you fix?
The University of Toronto is not alone in this. On campuses across the country, students are reporting skyrocketing rates of anxiety and depression. But the spotlight is here, because at U of T,
Just imagine whether it was one of your family members.
students are giving a silent epidemic a voice.
United will never be defeated.
The university has led to a crisis of mental health, and I don't say this lightly or as hyperbole. It's literally, we all think we're going through this alone until one of us starts to speak up, and then half of us have gone through it.
Shaheen Imtiaz has battled depression since her early years as a computer science major. She says it's her duty to speak up for those who can't, including the ones who died here in her department's building. After the 3rd suicide here, the university installed barriers in exposed areas, a move it says it regrets not doing sooner. In the lobby, silent reprimands and urgent demands.
I owe it as someone who's still around and who's kind of seeing the very real human cost of, this negligence, to do something about it.
Victoria Liao barely made it out of school alive.
Every waking moment of every day, I was just thinking, kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself.
4 years ago, the recent grad reached out for help on campus. It took 6 weeks to get into group therapy. Shortly after, Victoria tried to kill herself after a night of drinking.
Because it had been an impulse thing, I scared myself. And that's why I went in for help instead of just trying again or doing it while sober or something.
Victoria was put on a priority list for one-on-one counseling. Too overwhelmed to do anything else, she waited.
I had no clue exactly how long that list was, or, I had been told you'll hear within 2 weeks for a call, which then scheduled an appointment another 2, 3, however many weeks later.
She ended up waiting 4 weeks to see a therapist on her own, and there are many stories like hers on campus.
It concerns me, it worries me, it keeps me up at night, it affects me quite personally.
Sandy Welsh is the university's vice provost and oversees the health and wellness centers that run most counseling services.
Mental health and the ability of our students to thrive on our campus, that's a priority.
After the recent spike in suicides, the university spent an extra $3 million to boost counseling services overall and is trying to see urgent cases more quickly.
Someone is talking to them in that initial moment who's able to counsel them, who's able to provide them with support, and able also, it's important to get to understand what it is that the student is experiencing so we can help determine the kind of care that we need to be providing and the counseling we need to be providing going forward.
The intake for critical cases may be faster now. But after that assessment, what's not clear, how long is the wait list? We didn't get a straight answer.
So understandably, there's going to be a range of cases and a range of wait lists. How long is the wait to get counseling services, for example?
When a student needs care, what we're doing is we're looking at what is the urgency and what do they need, and in terms of how can we support them. We also have expanded the counselors in our academic divisions so students can have access to those counselors as well.
So again, what's the range of waiting?
The range of waiting really varies by individual students and individual cases. We would prefer that there's absolutely no wait lists, and we're doing our best to see students as quickly as possible.
I absolutely think that we need to be demanding significant program changes.
The university won't say how many students are waiting for care and for how long, but there are anecdotes. The student group behind the actions, the Mental Health Policy Council, says it's consulted with hundreds of students who report waiting weeks and even months for help.
That's not fair to anyone who has to go through that.
Do not go to U of T.
And so the pressure mounts. The group was caught on video disrupting a recent university fair to warn off prospective students. It's held a sit-in at the university president's office.
Please make it easier for someone to get material help here.
Stormed several governing council meetings.
And the cost is too high. The cost is far too high.
And continues to hold regular rallies. Shaheen says wait lists aren't the only barriers.
Just today, literally right before coming to this rally, I went to Health and Wellness for a same-day appointment. I waited 2 hours to see somebody after I was given a specific time to come in. And then when I had to leave because I need to go to work, they said, we're going to charge you if you leave now because you left without seeing a doctor. That's technically a missed appointment. That is not acceptable.
We are not charging a kind of fee like that as far as I know.
Well, this was a couple of weeks ago.
Then I need to be looking into that, and those are the kinds of things that we're looking at.
The university has set up a mental health task force to look for solutions. One of the big issues, the number of counselors.
You have 90 counselors and student body of close to 90,000, right? Do you think that's enough?
We can always do more.
Why not just boost the number of counselors right away?
We're working hard to do that. We have added additional counselors, and that's also why we need to work with the province, and we also need help. We need help to have the resources in order to meet the needs of our students.
So before coming to university, I was diagnosed with a bunch of mental health issues. I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, a learning disability, and ADHD.
Yusuf Metwali is a first-year student from Virginia. He got on a wait list, but bailed when friends warned him if he asks for help, he could be asked to leave.
I was so afraid that I was going to get kicked out of school because since I am an international student, my visa says if I'm not studying, I can't be in this country. So if I do get kicked out of school, I'm going to have immigration knocking on my door saying I cannot be here. And that made my mental health a lot worse.
So here's what's on our agenda for today.
Yusuf is afraid of a controversial policy that can force him to leave school if he's deemed a threat to himself or others. The university has placed 8 students on leave in the last year. Acts of compassion, it insists, that give students a chance to get well without academic penalty. But its potential to isolate fragile students even more is under scrutiny by Ontario's Human Rights Commission.
There are students saying that they're afraid to reach out, and these are vulnerable students.
I acknowledge that there is a perception problem about the policy.
Are you planning to do something about that?
We are working on that. It's a process. It's not just a mandated leave, and it's important that we do the work so students understand that.
Wait, what's that?
But Yusuf doesn't trust the outcome. He can't afford help off campus, so he's relying on his new friends for support. As for Victoria, she eventually did get counseling on campus and says it set her on the road to recovery. Music has also been a form of therapy too. Her tattoo, a music note, and next to it, a semicolon that signals she's a survivor.
I got very lucky. Not everyone gets that lucky, but it shouldn't be about luck. It's clear this isn't an isolated incident or an isolated couple of situations. This is a crisis that's ongoing because of a system that's failing us.
So the students keep showing up, keep raising their voice, even when they say they wonder if they're being heard.
Not much has happened, really. We're still getting the same responses. So at some point it starts feeling like, is anyone really listening?
But despite that feeling, and probably because of it, they say they'll keep going.
So, Joanna, in watching this, what I'm curious about is what makes university students especially vulnerable right now?
Well, they're vulnerable to begin with because they're facing a lot of academic pressure. They're away from home for the first time at an age when mental health issues either arise or deepen. What makes it particularly tough in this era is also a job picture out there that is very insecure. So there is that huge element of not knowing what to expect when you get out of the other end. And from the people we've talked to, that's a huge factor to explain these really high rates of anxiety and depression in that population.
And how have you tried to figure out how the other universities are coping with this?
We reached out to 30 universities across the country, coast to coast, and asked them a wide range of questions, from how do you collect your statistics to how do you train your staff to ultimately the big one, wait times. And that question was a no-go for many of the universities. Like U of T, they didn't answer it. The ones that did tended to have very short wait times or none at all. And others pointed out to the different ways they're delivering care. Like McGill, for example, talked about creating recently a wellness hub that allows students to go to one place to access all the care they need. And they say that mitigates wait times and giving them more stress when they're actually dealing with so much already.
All right, Joanna, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
More news next. We are back in 2 minutes with this story. New details about the suicide of Jeffrey Epstein. 2 prison guards charged. What was going on in that prison the night he died?
I'm Jamie Poisson, and tomorrow on CBC's Daily News podcast Front Burner, a conversation about how a conspiracy theory about the death of millionaire sex offender Jeffrey Epstein has transformed into a popular meme. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to our national newsroom in Vancouver. 2 correctional officers responsible for guarding Jeffrey Epstein the night he killed himself have been charged with falsifying prison records. The guards are accused of neglecting their duties by failing to do required checks on Epstein and fabricating prison log entries.
We believe that when all the evidence is presented about how the system was ran and how they were severely short-staffed at all times, maybe you'll have a different appreciation for what was going on.
Epstein was awaiting trial on federal charges accusing him of operating a sex trafficking ring. Prosecutors in Sweden have dropped the rape investigation into WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. The announcement ends the near-decade-old case that originally sent Assange into hiding in London's Ecuadorian embassy to avoid extradition. Prosecutors say the evidence has been reviewed and deemed insufficient to prove a criminal act. The 48-year-old is currently in a British prison fighting extradition to the United States on allegations of conspiring to hack government computers and violating espionage law. Millions of people in Sydney, Australia are under a health warning as heavy smoke from forest fires blanket the country's biggest city.
If we look out on the city, can't see it today.
Worst we've ever seen. Never seen anything like this.
Strong winds are stoking the more than 100 fires burning along the country's east coast. Sydney's famous Opera House and Harbour Bridge are hard to see through the haze. Yesterday, air quality levels measured 10 times worse than what's considered hazardous, prompting the state health department to warn people to stay inside if they could. Officials are anticipating more fires ahead, with a summer heat wave expected later this week. And Sydney residents aren't alone in their suffering from these fires. Later in the program, the extraordinary efforts to save some of the most vulnerable. The story behind this remarkable rescue is our moment.
We go ahead to the thrift store and get shopping.
A different kind of conspicuous consumption is going viral. Some of Canada's most popular YouTubers are proving everything old is new again.
I would have been so into this in the 2000s. This has potential. We got a lot of cheating going on.
And take a look at Instagram. The hashtag thrifting has been used more than 2.7 million times, often by people showing off their thrift store finds. Secondhand stores are seeing a boom in business, and budget isn't the only reason. As Diane Buckner explains, the increasing popularity of thrifting has more to do with the planet than the wallet.
I think I only have one item in here that's new from...
Sophie Robertson is proud that almost her entire wardrobe is secondhand.
This was secondhand, these were secondhand. I think they had never been worn before.
She used to shop at fast fashion chains like Zara and H&M, but no more.
I don't want to be a part of, polluting the planet. We have so much out there already.
Shopping secondhand to save money has always been popular, but now concern for the environment is a growing factor.
Clothing waste is like one of the biggest pollutants, so this is obviously helping because we're not buying more new clothes. All the fast fashion these days are just like polluting our earth with the climate change and all that.
According to a recent survey, there's a shift underway in Canadian attitudes. Classified advertising website Kijiji has just released its 5th annual report on the secondhand economy. It asked survey participants about what motivates them, and this year cost is down 4%, while altruistic and ecological reasons are up by 6%.
When I was growing up, it was, not as cool to wear secondhand clothing.
This district manager at Value Village says sales are growing. The stigma of shopping at thrift stores is fading.
It represented people not having the money to spend on new clothing. That was probably the stigma around it, but it's completely different now.
Even online retailers of used clothing have sprung up. Poshmark and ThredUp are both American companies that have expanded to Canada.
We've been seeing the secondhand market since we started doubling.
The co-founder of ThredUp was in Toronto recently to speak at a conference.
It's going to double again in the next 10 years.
Chris Homer says in terms of growth, used clothing sellers are clobbering regular retail.
The fact that we're seeing secondhand growing at a 16% year over year, doubling every 5 to 10 years rate, that's just not something, that's just a completely different trend shift that's happening within the market.
Thrift shops are evolving too. Some look and smell more like high-end boutiques than the Salvation Army or Goodwill. Even so, some consumers may never come around to secondhand, although Sophie Robertson asks why not.
And my husband has been here and he was like, "Are you sure that's a secondhand shop or that's a consignment shop?" I'm like, "Yeah, it is."
Unique styles, bargains, and a clear conscience in terms of climate change. It's a winning combination for a growing group of consumers. Diane Buckner, CBC News, Toronto.
Next on The National, our moment, another victim of Australia's wildfires. The story of one distraught little koala, some human intervention, and a bottle of water. That's next. We told you earlier in the show about the smoke from Australia's fires. That is bad enough. Obviously, the flames and heat are much worse. And while people are largely heeding the warnings to get away, there are creatures that cannot escape. So this is where the humans help, in an act that is brave and kind and is our moment. That badly burnt little koala was spotted in New South Wales, clearly looking for a way out when this happened. A woman named Tony apparently took off her shirt and ran in for the rescue.
Just careful his claws.
Some pained wailing soon followed. Koalas, whose numbers are already low, have increasingly been victims of these fires. As many as 350 have been killed.
Do you want to put him in the blanket and bring him out of the hot stuff?
And Australians are on the lookout for them. Dogs have even been trained to seek them out. Human hands aren't always welcome, but these were. Tony says she was planning on taking the little burnt soul to a koala hospital, which was mercifully close.
Okay.
Cool.
That's hard to listen to that, eh? So we obviously their habitat is burning, and this sort of panics Australians. There are between 50,000 and 100,000 of them at the most, but they are desperately worried about them right now.
And of course, Adrian, koalas in Australia aside, this is something which, it must happen with every wildfire, every forest fire, animals caught in the middle of it. And like you said, so difficult to hear, so difficult to watch. But it's the power of video, right? And just a reminder of a toll that we don't often take time to think about. That is The National for this Tuesday, November the 19th. Good night.
Good night.